Should you pull for Strago? His roles are a magic attacker, breaker, and defense ignore. Quasar, his skill 1, deals 3 AoE HP attacks, ignoring defense and granting the buff Descent of the Magi for 6 turns. His skill 2, Brave to Death, deals 3 split HP attacks, instant breaking all enemies if Strago's current Brave is an even number, granting Descent of the Magi for 6 turns, and if he is breaking or attacking a broken target, he grants the buff Soul of Thamasa for 2 turns. Set Soul of Thamasa attack up, his C65. You don't see me talk about C65 a lot, but I thought Strago's was pretty relevant. It is an instant turn rate move that grants Soul of Thamasa for 2 turns. Saber's Soul, his EX, deals 4 split HP attacks, giving 1 free ability use, granting Soul of Thamasa for 2 turns, and granting the buff Regained Hope for 6 turns. Grand Delta, his LD, will first cancel the enemy's group break, then deal 4 AoE HP attacks, instant breaking all enemies, giving 1 free ability use, and granting both Descent of the Magi and Soul of Thamasa. Burning 1000 Needles, his FR, also instant breaks all enemies and cancels their break after each HP attack. And anyone breaking or attacking a broken target gets a party HP cap up of 50%. Pinnacle of Blue Magic, his burst lasts for 6 turns. It is very simple, a party HP cap up of 30%, and it makes Strago's attacks trigger 3 times instead of 2. Strago's buffs and debuffs. Descent of the Magi extends any casted buff by 1 turn, and Soul of Thamasa makes it so attacks trigger twice. His force conditions. You're getting a 20% whenever anyone uses a magic ability, a 40% whenever breaking or attacking a broken target, and a last 20% when Strago is the one breaking or attacking a broken target. Strago's pros. With all the new upgraded units, there have been a lot of DPS popping up, but apart from Astos, you don't see a lot of magic ones. Thankfully, Strago helps fill that small void. With his newest rework, Strago becomes a very high level magic attacker. Also, his damage isn't just limited to his strongest damage isn't limited to just his EX anymore, because his new LD now deals the same damage as it. Well, technically it does more because it's AoE and not just split attack. Another thing that I like from his kit is his follow-ups will trigger regardless of whether the enemy is broken or not. It's a seemingly small but, in my opinion, important detail. You don't have to worry about Strago's damage lowering if you're facing unbreakable bosses. For those bosses that are breakable but are very hard to break, thankfully Strago has plenty of options to instant break them. AoE break too, not just single target. Lastly, with Strago's FR, he does give help to the rest of the party. He is not completely selfish. In total, if you include the FR and BT active, he will give a party-wide 80% HP cap up bonus. Not too shabby, I gotta say. Strago's cons. Even though it does provide a lot, 6 turns is 6 turns. Strago can still do pretty nice damage outside of it, but his time window for his highest output is pretty small, I gotta say. I personally wouldn't activate his BT until his FR echoes are already used or right before BT phasing. Next, we gotta talk about his FR conditions. It's the same problem as before. I don't like it when an FR restricts to its user when getting the full numbers. I don't like it when an FR restricts only to the user getting full numbers. That requirement to me is just a completely unnecessary nerf. You could have easily found a more generic one to replace it. Strago's skill 2, like before, has break RNG that in my opinion just doesn't need to be there. With my luck, I'm gonna have odd numbers every single time he attacks. Why don't you just make it break outright? I really don't think it would break the game if his skill 2 break was guaranteed. Lastly, Strago is a bit on the slow end. On one hand, it's good because when you have a 6-turn BT effect, you generally don't want to move any more than necessary. But on the other hand, despite being a breaker, the enemy might still be able to act because he's so slow. Is Strago's BT necessary? I'd say yes. The only thing outside of damage that Strago really offers is breaking, but he obviously serves best as a DPS unit, and his BT triggering all of his attacks 3 times will allow him to break that much more effectively. So yeah, you're better off greening him. My should you pull rating for Strago is an A+. This is peak Strago in my opinion. His damage is up to date, and his BT highly elevates both his role as a magic DPS and as a breaker. If he is a favorite, you're gonna love how good he is now. Thank you guys so much for watching with me. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!